Yeah, and I would say this is probably, put it into context, it's probably a medium size. In terms of
Really, this is medium.
Yeah, we'll have stuff that's bigger.
How long does it take you to
Probably
do
scaring
something like that?
some of the guys at work right now.
Well, how long does it take you to end up like rendering something like that? Like coming up with the concept and like putting it out there?
Ever. We've been working on this book forever.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even I really don't want to say how long. It's somewhat embarrassing.
Well, it looks great.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
yeah.
Very, very proud.
I'd rather you guys take the time than rush it.
So the combat grapple, I mean, how has that changed your experience with the combat so far? Because in the past, Kratos has latched onto people and pulled himself toward them, but it hasn't really been a user-driven
You can
sort
do
of
it,
thing.
so if you want to do it right now, L1 is circle, and there's like jump up in the air and get closer. So that's, if somebody's really close, but you can actually get somebody who's further away, like the Centaur maybe.
Now, if somebody hasn't played the previous games, are they able to jump into this and just get right into it?
Yeah. So.
And will they be given a background story?
Well, we're as the story develops, you'll learn about the things that are important to this story are pretty much a lot of the key things that happen to Kratos in the first couple of games are kind of integrated into it to a certain extent. So we kind of pepper that throughout this story, and so whatever major parts that are important to this plot line, we'll bring in, and you end up, if you're a newcomer, you'll end up getting a solid idea of how Kratos tick, what makes him tick.
Gotcha.
As far as the controls go, we've always taken pride in the fact that we have a very simple control scheme. So somebody can basically go through our game, and we get a lot of people like kind of, nail us for it sometimes, that you can basically button mash with God of War. You can press square, triangle, and get through the whole game.
But you can't play it well.
You can't play it well, and you won't look like an expert, and that's part of what's fun. But some people like to play that way, and that's fine. You won't look like an expert, but there's an incredible amount of depth. Some of the stuff that we've seen on our team that people have done on YouTube, we didn't even know you could do some of this stuff on God of War 2.
Yeah, the level of combos that.
And the complexity is, I think we stand toe to toe with any other game on the market. So.
What we're seeing again now is these action events. Now, can you tell me how these have maybe changed at all during this?
That was sweet.
Well, there's a good example of how it's changed. So we can add a lot more detail than we used to be able to. We can get a lot closer. That's a pretty standard quick time action event. We call them CS minigames, which stands for context sensitive minigame. But that was a pretty standard one, and with the standard ones, it's just like we're just amping up the details, so we can get a lot closer, and it feel like a lot more part of it.
Yeah. What's a non-standard one then? Because that looked pretty hardcore to me. I don't know about you, but ripping out somebody's guts.
Well, we're striving to get. Well, you can see with the Chimera here, we're trying to get more one-to-one controls in it. So, in the second stage of the Chimera, you'll see there's a point where. We have the circle button prompted here, and every time you hit the button, it's one-to-one at that point. So it's not like there's a little window that you have to hit that button. It's like you can pretty much beat them down as much as you want, and if you do enough of it in a certain time period, then you pulled it off.
Now, I mean, personally, my favorite way to play with Kratos is with the standard set of weapons, but I know you guys always add a bunch. What can we talk about in terms of weapons so far? Because I know you haven't talked about everything that's going to be in the game.
Yeah, so we've got the fire bow, which we were just using a little bit earlier here. And we have the cestus as well, which are these big hulking metal gauntlets that kind of shifts Kratos' stance once he starts using that, more akin to a boxer. So here they are right now, and you can see actually everything from the evade. Now he's kind of, I don't want to say dancing because Kratos doesn't dance, but he hops around a little bit quicker because that's kind of fits that type of weapon.
Right.
All of the moves that you use with the cestus are balanced so that they map directly to the same moves that you'd use with the blades.
Right.
So if you press square, triangle with the blades, you'll get a complementary move with the cestus, but equally devastating.
So it'll feel comfortable, you'll kind of be able to jump into it, it won't be too different.
There should be no learning curve. If you've explored the moves and found the moves that you enjoy with the blades, then you'll, switching to the other weapons will be right up your alley. The difference is that some enemies might be a little bit tougher against a certain type of weapon, weaker against a certain type of weapon. So there comes more of that kind of old school balancing that like that you might find with like a game like Mega Man or something.
But all of them will do the job in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just a